Hey everybody, Brad here with Arizona Grows. Welcome to my garden. It's kind of cool to get in here and get a top-down view. I don't get many chances to do that in the garden right now. Everything is looking incredible. I'm very, very excited about this. I know you can't see me back here, but this animal mint cake is absolutely fantastic. This is animal mints times sherbet cake, and I believe it's from the same group who made the sherbet cake. I believe it's Lit Farms, Lost in Translation Farms, and I think both of them were hunted by Tiki. So they bred them, gave the seeds to Tiki, and he hunted them, and that is how they found them. But I think both of them. Oh man, that smells good. I think both of them were bred by the same company, which is pretty cool. And then Tiki obviously is making cuts now. What I should have remembered when I started this animal mince cake was that the sherbet cake is an absolute beast of a grower. Like, if you're looking for absolute yield on a plant, the sherbet cake is the plant, man. The sherbet cake is the yielder. The animal mint cake looks like it might be even better. I mean, this plant is in a 7-gallon Autopot XL, not the XXL. It's in a plastic 6.7 gallon, whatever, I call them 7-gallon pots, in the 3XL system. It's not full to the very tip, so let's just say it's probably in like 6.5 gallons of soil. And this plant is absolutely huge. I wouldn't be surprised at the end the way these buds are growing and starting to stack if this was half-pound or more off of this one plant back here. It's shaping up like the sherbet cake to be an absolute banger. Furthest along in the 10 is this Forbidden Runts, and then maybe the Detroit Runts in the front, or the 41's Lushies in the back. They're getting pretty far along. The furthest away is probably the Gorilla Goat from Irie, and obviously Daz's plant. You can see that monster up in the front. Daz's plant is absolutely out of control. The Sea Tester. That was Hippie Slayer times Durban Poison. I think Hippie Slayer is a green Bodhi thing, and then obviously Durban Poison is an old landrace strain. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. The smell on it is like skunk. It's a funky looking plant. It definitely doesn't look like any other plants. It's still growing. It's totally crazy. I'm excited about it. There isn't a lot to talk about this week. This morning I watered in just a little top water with like it was probably 1.5 gallons of water across all these plants. Build the soil to BTI and a shot glass peach ferment. You're not supposed to mix those, so I probably just ruined the BTI, but I threw it in anyway just because I had it there. We'll do a separate watering, maybe tomorrow night, with just the water and the BTI, so it has a chance to come across. Everything else is looking good. This plant in the back, the animal mint cake, I have like regular solo cups. What are those, 16 ounces? Like half of a solo cup full of craft blend, because it's a huge plant and it's going to need the extra nutrition as we go along. Nothing else in the tent was fed. No extra food. I don't think we're going to feed anything now until we finish. Only this animal mint cake got the extra craft blend because it is absolutely huge, guys. I'm telling you, it's going to be half a pound dry at least. Absolutely nuts. It's not a lot to talk about with me hidden back here. These guys are probably enjoying a little extra CO2 from me just being back here looking down at everything. Gosh, everything looks so good. I cannot wait to get in here and show you some close-ups. All right, everybody, let's take a spin around the inside of the tent. And we are back. Hey, everybody. Let's take a look around at these amazing plants that we have growing. Everything in here looks really, really good. I'd say if there was a disappointment, it's probably this permanent marker. It's kind of small. It's going to have a lot of leaves. Even if it has great flavor, if that's the structure, and that could be me. Maybe it didn't like how I grew it. I mean, it was praying quite a bit all the time. That's just not going to be worth it on the trim side for me. Nugs are too small for the leaves. I don't know. So that's where I would say not interested. Next up, we have this Detroit Runts here. And I'll sneak in some nug pictures just so we have some better pictures going on. This Detroit Runts, guys, is like sweet candy, like Runts. It's a little different. I would say it's more sweet flavored than punch you in the face like, candy or Z or something. It's definitely got some sweet terps. Here, let's do a quick check right now. Oh, yeah. Sweet. Definitely candy, but not a specific kind. Just like very sweet and sugary. Freaking smells delicious. This one's pretty far along. You can see here it's doing really well. And then the furthest along, this is the Forbidden Runts, guys. Looks absolutely phenomenal. The one thing I would say about this one is I'm not getting a lot of smell yet. I thought this was going to be like a super stinker. Let's see. Kind of spicy and sweet. There's definitely some more smell coming out. Maybe it'll get gassy. I don't know. There's something going on there that's taking a while to develop as it's coming through, but it's definitely picking up steam as it's going. Like I said, everything today just got water, a little bit of peach ferment, nothing else in there. I mean, the frost levels on these are absolutely insane, and they're bulking out. I don't know if we did any close-ups last week, but they didn't look this thick. I mean, that one in the back there too, they just didn't look like that last week. We did get a little new growth. Looks like maybe some foxtail-y kind of things coming out. Nothing to be worried about. As it's stacking, it's pulling that nutrition, so the chance of new growth is okay. Clearly, it's nowhere near ready yet to harvest, so we're not worried about it. But just something to keep in mind. Permanent marker, like I said, it's getting there, It's there. But look, it's like, it's mostly leaves. That wouldn't be my favorite, like, say, compared to this. Even this has a little more leaves than I would like. It's not bad, though. And then you come over here, I think this is slightly better. So you come in the structure, it's got a few less kind of leafy areas. If you look at the the animal mint cake, God, I love that sherbet cake so much. I keep talking about. This is awesome. Like, guys, this is like absolutely no trimming. So if you have somewhere where you had to pay trimmers, as long as this comes out with some banger flavor, it's a yielder. It grew fast and huge compared to everything else. And if it's got the terps, and the effects, man, I would do that every day and less trimming. So the sherbet cake and this animal mint cake, checking all the boxes. The animal mint cake we haven't tasted yet. Obviously, we're growing it right now, but the sherbet cake always checks all the boxes. Absolutely fantastic plant. This Detroit Runts, man, this smell on this is just absolutely fantastic. Really excited about this. I think it's the Detroit Runts that is a special cut of the Pablo's Revenge. So that's pretty neat. Tiki always putting out, finding the fire, If that guy goes into a room and there's like 100 plants, he's picking good ones. He's not messing around. Behind it, you'll see this frost monster that's absolutely out of control. That's the Blackout Bobby. Just look at these leaves. They're all curled up. It's absolutely nuts right now. Every single one of them. And then behind it, guys, this is the Gorilla Goat from Irie. It's hard for me to get back there to show you, but this thing is an absolute beast. It's a total chunk monster. It's frosting out. I don't know if you've ever had Jack Herrera, but that's exactly what it smells like. It's got that pine sol, kind of punch you right in the face terps. Very, very nice. This also is the Blackout Bobby, but just look at that. Isn't that crazy? It's just absolutely nuts. And then let's go over here. We have 41 Lushies from Raw. Starting to put out big fat cones. Absolutely incredible. More Blackout. But if you come down here, you can see the other cones from the Blackout Bobby. Or not the Blackout Bobby. This is the 41 Lushies from Raw. And then you can see there's a smaller, we have the smaller 41 Lushies in here, kind of hidden, got smashed up. Both of them smell great. Some kind of like citrusy soda kind of smell. We'll find out more later, but right now they're looking absolutely incredible. And then we're back to this Detroit Runts in the front before we talk about the sea tester from DAS. I just want to emphasize why this plant wasn't as tall. The nugs are big. And look, it's spread out. It's over here, it's over here, it's over here. You know, it's a big, in the full effect, guys, it's a big plant. Quite a bit of yield for a smaller looking plant on the surface. Same thing, the Forbidden Runts. The way it's stacking right now, just look at this thing. Like, that's a nug. That wasn't like that a week ago. Not even close. I mean, that's a nug right there. That is going to be very, very nice, especially if the flavors keep brewing. Obviously, the biggest is the animal mince cake. And then lastly, let's check in on these DAS testers. This is the smaller one. My guess is the two in the middle of this tray to grow just got kind of gobbled up. I think that same thing kind of happened to the Blackout Bobby over here. The ones that did the best, that looks like the Gorilla Goat and the Detroit Runts on the edges. So I would, unless you're doing some pheno hunting, which is kind of what we're doing in here, we're going for yield too because we have to smoke it before we get to the next round. You know, this is my medicine. But we're also, when we do this, you know, pheno hunting, we're deciding if are any of these worth keeping, and if they are, you know, are we going to grow them again? Are we going to breed them with something else? What's going on? So there's a lot of stuff to think about, but every single strain in here is different. It always makes it more complicated, except for this bed. There's 2 of the sea testers and 2 of the 41 Lushies. Clearly one of the 41 Lushies is bigger, but some of that could be environment. This sea tester from DAS just absolutely blew up, guys. I don't know, it did some funky things with the leaves. Look in here. This is where I super cropped it. This branch was flat, went vertical across, horizontal to this side, so it was perfect. And then it said, no, I don't want to be super cropped. I'm just going to turn into an absolute monster. It's kind of funny looking. We've got 3 more over at my neighbor's house started in our little clone tent over there. And it is absolutely crushing it, guys. So we're going to have 3 more. They're going to go in the 4x4 as soon as we start harvesting some things out of here, just so we're aware of our plant count for the government. We don't want to do anything that's going to get us in trouble. That's why I keep my veg tent at somebody else's house, where they are also allowed to have 12 plants, but they don't grow. So we can get a little, you know, we can store all of our cuts over there and then bring them back to our house once we start chopping stuff down. I mostly do that. I guess if I wasn't on YouTube, maybe I wouldn't do that, but whatever. We are, and we make sure because we are and we're public that we stay in full compliance with Arizona laws, which is 12 plants because I'm married. There's 2 of us. You can grow 6 per person, 12 max per household. They're all in here. This is all our plants. So as soon as these start coming down, we'll start adding the other plants to the mix. We have the soil ready, the Trader Grow's going. I planted some radishes and carrots in there. I thought it'd be neat to see them come up during the grow. with the cannabis, see if we could get some vegetables to harvest while the cannabis is growing. So I thought that would be fun. This seed tester, absolutely out of control. Definitely looks sativa leaning to me. Smells sweet, skunky deliciousness. Definitely have a cut of this. Looking forward to it. But that's it for this week, guys. Brad here. Arizona Grows. Happy growing.